Karen's voice sliced through the diner's hum like a knife through butter, sharp and unapologetic. That thing's a prop, isn't it? You're no hero, just a wannabe fishing for sympathy. The room froze, forks hovering mid-bite, as every eye locked onto the man she was berating, a quiet veteran named Tom, his metal arm glinting under the diner's fluorescent glow. His jaw tightened, but he said nothing, not yet, as Karen's smug grin dared him to respond. The air crackled with tension, a storm brewing in the small-town eatery where secrets and pride collided like tectonic plates. It was a Thursday evening at Millie's Diner, the kind of place where locals swapped gossip over greasy burgers and bottomless coffee. Tom, a regular, sat in his usual corner booth, his prosthetic arm resting on the table, a silent testament to a past he rarely spoke of. He was a man of few words, his weathered face carrying the weight of battles fought far from this sleepy town. Karen, on the other hand, was a known force of nature, entitled, loud, and always ready to pick a fight over perceived slights. Tonight, her target was Tom, and no one could have predicted how her careless words would unravel her. Karen had stormed into the diner, already fuming about a parking spot she claimed was stolen by someone less deserving. When she spotted Tom, his metal arm catching the light as he sipped his coffee, something in her snapped. Maybe it was the way he sat, calm and unassuming, or maybe it was just Karen being Karen, always hunting for a reason to feel superior. She marched over, her purse swinging like a weapon, and launched into her tirade. "I bet you got that thing at a costume shop," she sneered, loud enough for the whole diner to hear. "People like you love playing the victim card, don't you?" The diner went silent, the kind of silence that chokes the air out of a room. Tom's eyes, steely and tired, met hers. He didn't flinch, didn't raise his voice. "Ma'am," he said, his tone low but steady, "you don't know what you're talking about." That only fueled Karen's fire. She leaned in, her voice dripping with disdain. "Oh, please. Spare me the sob story. If you're such a big shot, prove it." A few diners gasped, others exchanged uneasy glances. Behind Tom, three men at a nearby table, his old squad mates, who joined him for a rare reunion, stiffened, their fists clenching. They knew Tom's story, the one he never shared, and Karen was treading on sacred ground. The veteran squad mates Jake, Marcus, and Eli had served with Tom in Afghanistan. They were the kind of men who'd seen hell and come back quieter for it. Jake, the burly one with a scar across his cheek, leaned forward, his voice a growl. "Lady, you need to back off." Karen scoffed, undeterred. "What, you're his fan club? This guy's no different from those fakers on the street with their cardboard signs." Marcus, the wiry one with haunted eyes, stood up, his chair scraping the floor. "You're digging a hole you can't climb out of," he warned. But Karen doubled down, her voice rising to a shrill pitch. "I'm not scared of a bunch of posers. That arm's probably some cheap gimmick to scam free meals." The diner's owner, Millie, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, stepped out from behind the counter, her apron stained with years of hard work. "Karen, that's enough," she said, her voice firm but trembling with rare anger. "You're disrespecting a man who's earned his place here." Karen rolled her eyes, tossing her hair. "Earned? Pfft. I've seen TikToks of guys faking injuries for clout. He's just another one." The crowd murmured, some nodding in discomfort, others glaring at Karen. The tension was a living thing now, coiling tighter with every word. Tom finally stood, his 6-foot frame towering but calm, like a lighthouse in a storm. He raised his metal arm, the intricate joints clicking softly as he flexed it. "This," he said, his voice steady but laced with pain, wasn't cheap. Cost me more than you'll ever understand. Karen opened her mouth to retort, but Tom kept going, his words cutting deeper than her insults. July 12, 2012. Helmand Province. IED went off. I dragged 3 Menmi brothers out of the blast zone. Lost my arm doing it. They're alive because of it. He nodded toward Jake, Marcus, and Eli, who sat rigid, their eyes glistening with unspoken gratitude. The diner was a tomb now, every breath held. Karen's face faltered, her bravado cracking like thin ice. You're lying, she stammered, but her voice lacked conviction. Jake stood, his voice shaking with rage. I was one of those men. Tom carried me 2 miles, bleeding out, with his arm blown to hell. You wanna call that a prop? Marcus joined in, his voice quieter but no less fierce. He didn't just save us. He saved our families. Our kids. You don't get to spit on that. Eli, the quietest of the group, simply stared at Karen, his silence more damning than words. Karen's face flushed red, then pale, as the weight of her mistake crashed down. The diners, once spectators, now turned on her with whispers and glares. A teenage girl at a nearby table, who'd been filming the whole thing on her phone, spoke up. It's already on X, she said, holding up her screen. People are gonna see this. The post was spreading fast. Karen vs. Veteran trending within minutes, clips of Karen's outburst racking up thousands of views. The internet was merciless, and Karen's name was now a hashtag, a cautionary tale. Millie stepped closer, her voice low but cutting. Karen, you've been coming here for years, always complaining, always picking fights. But this? This is low, even for you. She pointed to the door. Get out. Don't come back until you learn some respect. Karen grabbed her purse, her hands shaking, and stormed out, but not before muttering, "You're all overreacting." The door slammed behind her, the bell jingling like a final judgment. Tom sat back down, his squad mates gathering closer, their bond unspoken but ironclad. The diners slowly resumed their meals, but the air was different now, heavier, charged with the weight of truth. Tom stared at his coffee, his metal arm resting on the table, a symbol of sacrifice that needed no defense. Millie brought him a fresh slice of pie, on the house, and whispered, "You didn't deserve that, Tom." He nodded, a faint smile breaking through. "Not the first time someone's underestimated me," he said. "Won't be the last." Outside, Karen stood by her car, scrolling through her phone, her face crumpling as she saw the X posts piling up, comments calling her out, memes tearing her apart. She'd wanted attention, but not like this. The internet had turned her into a villain, and the truth about Tom's heroism was spreading faster than her excuses ever could. Back in the diner, the teenage girl posted one last update, a photo of Tom's metal arm, glinting under the light, with the caption, "Real heroes don't need to shout. Respect the vets." The story didn't end there. Karen's life unraveled in the weeks that followed. Her boss saw the viral video, and her job as a real estate agent took a hit. Clients didn't want to work with someone who'd publicly shamed a hero. She tried to post an apology on X, but it was too little, too late, drowned out by the flood of outrage. Tom, meanwhile, stayed quiet, letting his actions speak louder than Karen's words ever could. His squad mates started a small fundraiser in his name, raising thousands for veterans' prosthetics. The diner became a local hub for veterans' meetups, a place where stories like Tom's were honored, not mocked. The bitter truth was that Karen's outburst didn't just humiliate her, it exposed the cost of snap judgments, of assuming you know someone's story without asking. Tom's sacrifice, once hidden in his silence, became a beacon, a reminder that heroism often wears a quiet face. Karen learned the hard way that words have weight, and some wounds cut deeper than metal. What would you have done in that diner? Stood up for Tom, stayed silent, or something else? Share your thoughts on where justice lies when pride clashes with truth.